Hey there, so we have some work to do on converting improper fractions and mixed numbers today. So that is what our lesson is going to be about. Before we can do any of that, we need to kind of go over some information, some definitions that will help you with your work today. So this is your vocabulary. So your first word is going to be improper fraction. Improper fraction. And you may hear this referred to as IF, but we're going to call it an improper fraction. And apparently an improper fraction is a fraction that doesn't know how to behave. Just kidding. Okay, so an improper fraction is a fraction equal to or greater than a fraction equal to or greater than 1. So what that means is that the numerator is going to be greater than or equal to the denominator. The numerator is going to be greater than or equal to the denominator. Here are some examples of improper fractions. 6/6 is an improper fraction because the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. 7/4. Again, the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. 8/1. 12/3. These are all improper fractions. Improper fractions. Your next vocabulary word is going to be proper fraction. Proper fraction. And I don't know why if we call an improper fraction an IF, we don't call a proper fraction a PF, but we don't. A proper fraction is a fraction less than 1 whole. So a fraction that is less than 1 whole, and the numerator is less than the denominator. Okay, numerator is less than the denominator. So 1/3 is a proper fraction. 4/5 is a proper fraction. All of the fractions you have dealt with up to this point are called proper fractions. All of the fractions you've dealt with at this point are called proper fractions. So a fraction, an improper fraction, again, has a numerator equal to or greater than the denominator. It's good to remember that fractions are division problems. We can replace the division symbol with the fraction bar. And let's see what else it says. Oh, it gives us another vocabulary word without giving us a vocabulary word. So the other vocabulary word is going to be mixed number. And a mixed number is just a whole number and a fraction together. A whole number and a fraction together. All right, so how do we change an improper fraction to a mixed number? Well, there are 3 basic steps for converting improper fractions to mixed numbers. So let me turn my page and title this Steps to Converting Improper Fractions to a whole number. All right, step number 1 is going to be to divide the numerator by the denominator. Step 1 is divide the numerator by the denominator. Step 2 is to write down the whole number part of the answer as the quotient. And any remainder is written as a fraction. So remainders are written as a fraction. And placed by the whole number. Now, these steps may seem a little bit hard to follow because you can't see them in action. So I'm going to show you how to divide the numerator by the denominator. So first we have to have an improper fraction. So let's take the fraction 8/3. Okay? We're actually going to convert this into a division problem. This bar means divided by. So we're going to put 8 divided by 3, or we can write it like this, 8 divided by 3. So once we divide 8 by 3, we have to use our steps. We go in and we say, okay, I know that 3 times 2 is 6, and that's as close as I can get to 8 without going over. 3 times 2 is 6, so I'm going to subtract 6, and that leaves me with 2 left over. Now remember that my denominator is 3, which also became my divisor. So I'm going to put 2, which is the remainder, over 3, which is my denominator. So 8/3 is the same as 2 and 2/3. So again, it's showing you that you can convert an improper fraction, 8/3, into a mixed number, which is a whole number and a fraction together, by dividing the numerator by the denominator. If there is a remainder, the remainder becomes the numerator of the new fraction, and you keep the same denominator that you had. All right, so let's try another example. Let's try 12/5. 12/5. Again, this is the same as 12 divided by 5. And when we place it, it's going to look like this: 12 divided by 5. 5 goes into 12 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. We subtract and we have 2 left over. We don't have any numbers to bring down, so the 2 becomes our numerator, and our denominator was 5. So 12/5 is equal to 2 2/5. Now, what about if there is no remainder? What if we have a problem that has no remainder? So what if we have 14 halves? Let's say we have 14 divided by 2, or 14 halves. 2 goes into 14 how many times? 7 times. 2 times 7 is 14. We subtract. We get nothing left over. So 14 halves equals 7. We don't have to put 0 over 2 or anything like that. We just put that it equals the whole number 7. Oh, some of my pens are running out. It makes my heart so sad. I'm going to have to go buy some more. All right, so there are some examples. Let's see. Let's look at changing mixed numbers into improper fractions. Now that we know how to change improper fractions into mixed numbers, and that should say mixed numbers, mixed numbers. Now that we know how to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers, let's change a mixed number to an improper fraction. So we're going to change a mixed number, converting a mixed number to an improper fraction. Well, we know that division and multiplication are inverse operations, which means if we can do division to get a mixed number, then we're going to use multiplication to get an improper fraction. So when you're given something like, let's say, 7 2/3. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to multiply our whole number times our denominator. So step 1 is to multiply the whole number by the denominator. And then you're going to add that number to the numerator. Add the product to the numerator. All right, so it's going to look like this. 7 times 3 plus 2. All right, 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 2 is 23. So now this becomes the numerator. This is our new numerator. Our denominator stays the same. So we're going to put 23/3 as our mixed fraction. 23/3 as our mixed number. Sorry, our mixed number. Okay, let me try that again. 23/3 is our improper fraction. We started with a mixed number. This is a mixed number. I'm so sorry, I lost my brain for a second. Mixed number. And 23/3 is our improper fraction. Had a brain freeze there. Sorry about that, guys and girls. Okay, we're going to do one more conversion from a mixed number to an improper fraction just so that you can have another example. And so let's do 3 and 7/9. 3 and 7/9. Our first step is to multiply the whole number by the denominator, and the second step is to add the numerator. So it's going to be 3 times 9 plus 7. So again, this is our mixed number. 3 times 9 is 27 plus 7. That's step 1 and step 2. 27 plus 7 is 34. This becomes our new numerator. We keep the same denominator, so it's going to be 34/9 will be our improper fraction.